Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Please give me your blessings so I can be an instrument in the hands of Guru, Parampara, Shri Krishna. The transcendental message can pass. Please. So today we are continuing to discuss 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 18, the last text of the chapter, text 51.
Just a second, someone needs translation. Bruno is doing the translation at the end. Maybe you can put everyone, please. Bruno, is that okay? Rupa, Mahesh.
Usually, it's more easy for the people who gets
Depends on the speaker.
Yes.
How do you like it? Would you like devotees to sit at the back, or you want someone?
I prefer to, if there is opportunity to have a separate translation, it would be easier for me. So we're discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, effulgent Srimad Bhagavatam. When Krishna departed from this material world, the Dharma took shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Saram, the essence of the all Vedic literature. So we're discussing the last verse of the 18th chapter, which is named King Yaiti Regains His Youth. So it's the end of the chapter. I guess we know the context. So the last verse, 51. Evam varsha sahasrani manach shastra manach sukham vidathano pinatriapyat sarva bhamah kat indriyaih. Evam varsha sahasrani manach shastra manach sukham vidathano pinatriapyat Sarva bhaumah kat indriyai. Evam varsha sahasrani manach shastrai manach sukham vidathano pinatripyat Sarva bhaumah kat indriyai. Please.
Evam varsha sahasrani.
Sahasrani
Manasastar manasukam
Manashastrai manasukham
Dadanopi natrapyat
Vidathanopi natripyat
Sarva bhoma kat indriyai.
Sarva bhamah kat indriyai.
Evam varsha sahasrani
Evam varsha sahasrani
manashastrai manasukam
Manashastrai manasukham Vidathanopi natripyat Sarva bhamah kat indriyai. Evam varsha sahasrani Manashastrai manasukham Vidathanopi natripyat Sarva bhamah kat indriyai. Evam varsha sahasrani manach shastrai manach sukham bhamah kat indriyai. Ladies? Evam varsha sahasrani manach shastrai manach sukham Vidathanopi natripyat Sarva bhamah kat indriyai. Someone else? Evam varsha sahasrani manach shastrai manach sukham Vidathanopi natripyat Sarva bhamah kat indriyai. Okay, word for word translation. Evam, in this way. Varsha Sahasrani, for 1,000 years. Manach Shashtai, by the mind and 5 knowledge-acquiring senses. Manach Sukham, temporary happiness created by the mind. Vidathanah, executing. Api, although. Na atripyat, could not be satisfied. Sarvabhaumah, although he was the king of the entire world. Kat indriyah, because of possessing impure senses. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charnavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Although Maharaja Yayati was the king of the entire world, and he engaged his mind and 5 senses in enjoying material possessions for 1,000 years, he was unable to be satisfied. Purport. The Kad Indriya, or unpurified senses, can be purified if one engages the senses and the mind in Krishna consciousness. Sarvapathi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirmalam. One must be freed from all designations. When one identifies himself with the material world, his senses are impure. But when one achieves spiritual realization and identifies himself as a servant of the Lord, his senses are purified immediately. Engagement of the purified senses in the service of the Lord is called bhakti. Hrishikena Hrishikesha Sevanam Bhaktir Uchyate. One may enjoy the senses for many thousands of years, but unless one purifies the senses, one cannot be happy. Okay. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Wonderful verse, huh? Yes. Translation. Although Maharaja Yayati was the king of the entire world, and he engaged his mind and 5 senses in enjoying material possessions for 1,000 years, he was unable to be satisfied. So, this verse about samadhi, but samadhi in the material world, when we are completely absorbed in the material sense gratification. For 1,000 years, he's a super yogi.
So which king we talk about?
Yayati. So we can see that even if we trying to enjoy our senses for 1,000 years, we are still unable to be satisfied. So what is the cause of it? Why not?
Because it is material.
It is material. Mhm.
Material happiness is temporary.
Material happiness is temporary. And even though it's temporary, and even though we are trying to satisfy our senses, we try different things over and over again, like Maharaj Yajiti for 1,000 years. And every time it's a bummer, there is no satisfaction, but we still continue to do it. Why is it like this?
Because of mind.
Mind.
Powerful and we are in illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that actually lust is insatiable,
Mhm.
like a burning fire.
Mm.
So we cannot be satiated by any means.
Mahashano Mahapapma, yeah. You cannot, it's all devouring. Doesn't matter how much wood you throw into the fire, it devours everything. Iha Vairinam, it's the enemy which we need to conquer. And but still, like, why? How does it work? Why it devours everything, and we're still trying to throw more woods in it?
Because soul is, we are the soul and we always look for happiness. Anandamaya Abhyasa.
Mm-hmm.
The soul is always seeking pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for happiness in the wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing, that actually not the fact of sense gratification gives us happiness, but the expectation of the happiness. I think that if I go for the second plate of prasadam, personally, it's not bad to go for the second plate, it's just my personal case. Even though if I feel satisfied, I still go for the second plate. And when okay, let's take another example because it's prasadam. When I'm trying to buy a new thing, I know for sure that after that I won't be satisfied and I will want to have something else. But this idea of having it gives so much pleasure. So we are more deriving happiness from the expectation. So this is a subtle thing, subtle difference, but it actually gives explanation why we are so attached to it. And if we try to think about it, we may have our intelligence more purified, more spiritualized, more arguments in our intelligence next time when we will face our next choice. Should I do it again or not? So that the idea that I'm not deriving happiness from the fact of sense gratification, but from the expectation of it. And it's funny how the scientists, they already did some research how that in the brain there is some kind of a little okay. So the happiness, material happiness is just dopamine, some chemicals which are thrown into the blood, and in the brain there is some tentacles. And they have lots of, because they're like this, they have lots of surface to absorb this dopamine. This is our material pleasure. But the problem is, Shano Mahapapma, that when we satisfy our senses, they start to grow. They become more and more and more. And once they process this dopamine, they ask for more. And we cannot stop this process. It just grows and grows, and then it comes to the point when we... Yes?
Est-ce qu'on peut dire que c'est à cause des choses qu'on essaie de contrôler? On essaie de... Tu dis pourquoi on n'est pas satisfait?
Mm-hmm.
Est-ce qu'on peut dire parce qu'on essaie de contrôler notre bonheur?
We are not satisfied because we are trying to control our happiness.
C'est joyeux de manger, de faire des choses, mais on ne peut pas contrôler, ça vient comme ça, je ne sais pas.
Well, what would happen if you try not control your happiness? What would you do if you will try not to control your happiness?
Je de savoir qu'est-ce qui est bien, et puis j'aurais une petite idée et je me contenterai quoi, de quelque chose, c'est que c'est... Mais bon, si on ne peut pas savoir, je me contenterai juste de sentir, sans chercher quelque chose, mais juste...
Would you be able to translate?
You are near the wife.
Well, I just...
Say if you have to control his pleasure, he will be satisfied with something that it pleases him, and he will continue to enjoy it.
Well, there is two things, you know. There is shreyas and preyas. The immediate joy and, let's say, investment in the future. We can derive pleasure right now, or we can do austerity, and then we will gain some spiritual realization, some, you know, we will be able to purify our senses. Because once, if we're trying to be satisfied outside, trying to create a comfortable life in external world, then it creates anxiety within. Because once everything's settled outside, I'm afraid to have some disturbance, that this situation will change. But if I'm trying to grow spiritually within, these disturbances outside, they don't bother me because I'm trying to tolerate them. It gives peace of mind. So it's also an important thing to understand what is the benefit of spiritual practice, trying to control the senses. But in the same time, we are in the material world, the world of extremities. We want to like control senses, austerities, nothing else, no more sense gratification. And then the mind becomes like, and then we go to the fridge and like eat everything we see. So it's like a spring, you know. We're pulling it, and then at some point it's too tight, and we let it go, and then it hits back, and it hits further back. So we should be very careful with that. This is important to have a nice sadhu sangha, association of devotees. Best is to have a mentor who we trust, who can give us instructions how to control the senses in a regulated way. I don't know if it answers. No, not really. So I was saying that the thing is that in the brain there is this tentacles, right? We cannot satisfy them. And okay, I'm trying to come back to the logical chain. So that's the point, that the body, it's not only about our thoughts that I want, I don't want, but there is also memory of the body. Sometimes I say, no, I don't want to do like this. I don't want to buy a new thing, for example. But the body, there is a memory of it, like of having a new package, or like eat extra, etc. And even though I decided I don't want to do it, still the body goes and do it. So we need to take into account that there is also this force. The body also has a memory. But we can also use it as our advantage. In here, Srila Prabhupada says that we need to purify the senses first. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that the kama situated on the 3 levels. Kama. Lust. On the level of the body, of the senses, on the level of the mind and intelligence. We don't start right away from the intelligence because it's a very subtle level. We start from the most gross level, the body, which we can perceive, we can understand. Okay, I at 2 a.m. I go to the fridge and eat something, like a halava. Probably there is some kama, So it's easy to work with it. We're trying to purify our senses first. I take this body, I get it up in the morning, I bring it to the shower, I wash the body, then I go take prasadam as much as needed for this body. This is how the senses are purified, because senses, they're like pipes. They can transfer energy, either material energy or spiritual energy. So material energy, they transfer gunas, Rajaguna, Tamaguna, Sattvaguna. But by doing spiritual activities, which is very easy to do in the temple, because everything we do here, it's spiritual. I mean, if it's for Krishna, for devotees. We just, arranged books on the shelf in your room. It's already spiritual activity. This is how the senses are purified. The body becomes used to do service. And then, because the body gets used to do the service, the body starts to create emotions or thoughts. Oh, maybe I can do more service. So you see the opposite way. When I was eating a lot, the body got used to it, and now it requires, like, I want more, the memory of the body. But we can do it other way. We can use the body first, and then the body forces me to think about, oh, I want to do service for Krishna. And then from the thoughts will come emotion. So this is the process. First we purify the body, and then we can see our mind. What am I thinking actually? Why am I doing this service, but I'm thinking about something else? I can start to disidentify myself with the mind. But the next level is the most difficult one, the level of intelligence. Even though I do service, even though I think about serving Krishna, but what is my system of values? Why am I doing this? To be praised, or I'm doing it because I'm a paid pujari, or because, I don't know, many different motivations can be there. And this is the most toughest level. It's like to change our system of values. This is our base of existence. It's like if you're trying to pull out the carpet from your legs, difficult process, but in sadhusanga with devotees, it is possible. So the sadhusanga, the association of devotees with higher values, who has this taste for service, they can change these values by the taste. Param drištva nivartate. So this is how we change our identification. Srila Prabhupada says, one must be freed from all designations. Sarvapathi vinirmuktam. Upadhi, we have different identifications. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a student, I'm black, I'm white, etc. By going through this process of purifying our senses first, then our mind and our intelligence, this is how we eventually change our identity, that I'm an eternal servant of God, I'm not this body. Okay. Where to go then? We can 8:34. The lecture is until 9. So system of values. We can talk about system of values. So we can say that I believe in UFO. I believe in somebody believes in Jesus Christ. Somebody is in Santa. We have different faith, but there is a specific part of our chitta, of our consciousness. So the inner tool, it's called antahkarana. Antahkarana, the inner tool which helps us to interact with the material world, which consists of mind, intelligence, false ego, and chitta. This is kind of accumulate consciousness from many lives, like your cluster of memory of your samskaras, your imprints. So in the consciousness, very deep, on the deep level, there is a special place, the sacred place, which is called Paramartrika Shraddha, the topmost faith. Like, because we can say many things, I believe in that, I believe in that, but in the critical moment of life, we will act according this sacred place. What is my actual real value? What is the most important for me? And until this place is taken by football or taken by famille or cars, etc., Krishna cannot live there. You know, so we need to eventually to come to the understanding that my only happiness is that when Krishna is happy and devotees are happy. Yeah, and it's a long way. It's a long way. And this faith, it only can come from devotees, those who have it, because this faith is not material; it's completely spiritual. I cannot achieve it by my material efforts. I can do many things. I can read many books, but if I didn't reestablish this loving relationship with devotees, who can transfer this taste, this faith, that if Krishna is happy, this is all I want. If they can transfer it into your heart, into this sacred place, then the life is blissful. What is it? Savai pomsach paradarmo, yatho bhakti radhok shage. Ahai tuki say again? Pratihata yayatma suprasidati. Only then yayatma suprasidati, atma suprasidati. The sages ask, like, what can we do? What is the main dharma, so which can give us ultimate happiness? So the atma, the soul is satisfied only by doing service, by having this faith that Krishna is if he's happy, if devotees of Krishna are happy, then this is the only way to be happy in this world, anywhere. Why? Because in 14th chapter of 10th canto, Shukadeva Goswami asking, Maharaj Parikshit asking Shukadeva Goswami, why, how come the inhabitants of Raj, the gopis and the cows, were more attached, more happy to see their calves and their sons when Krishna was playing these roles of calves and sons, and they were attached to them even more than to their own sons and calves. And the answer was that because because Krishna is Atma of Atma, he is the soul of the soul. Basically, the word Atma means, we usually think it means soul, but Atma means self, to whom I identify. I can identify myself to this body, therefore Atma means body. And it depends on the context. Somewhere we can read Atma used as a body. Or we can think that I'm the mind, then Atma becomes a mind. But someone who is more learned in Shastras, in scriptures, they understand that I'm a soul. But for devotees, Atma means Krishna. Because the soul only is satisfied when Krishna is satisfied. Yayatma suprasidati. And who is giving it? One of the acharyas gives this the chain, how it works, that the body, the Atma of body is the mind, because the mind gives the satisfaction for the body. The mind controls the senses, so Atma of the body is the mind. But Atma of the mind is the soul, because the soul gives this energy to everything. But the soul can be happy only because when Krishna is happy. So Atma of the soul of Atma is Krishna. So it's It's kind of an interesting chain. I'm going all over the places. Whatever comes to my mind. Maybe we can switch to questions and answers. Or maybe there's some corrections, some... Please, Prabhu.
That's a question, Prabhu. Thank you for the class. My question, I have two questions actually. First, I will try to ask one. The body, you talked about the identification of the body, or we talk about it, and but at some point, so my question is by purifying the body, we are not this body, but once you became, attain the perfect stage, what is supposed to happen when you follow the process, not tomorrow, not in 1 year, but we don't know. Your body becomes so it becomes non-different, it is not your soul, you are not this body, but it becomes purified, right, spiritual.
Yeah, but when we say spiritual, it doesn't mean that it's gonna glow like in the darkness and you're gonna fly in the air or something like this. Spiritual means Krishna is satisfied. Everything which is used for service of Krishna is spiritual. This is the true meaning of spiritual and material. So the body becomes spiritual means that the only reason why you're using this body is to satisfy Krishna. That means spiritualized. So everything, like I said, it's a little pipes, that now you're not transmitting the gunas anymore through this body, but only bhakti. Yeah, and the idea is that when these pipes become like a gold, the golden pipes, they transfer this bhakti energy. Then the mind also becomes purified, and then intelligence eventually. Then you become perfect instrument, which transfers this energy of bhakti, energy of bliss, Hladini Shakti. Then you experience the bliss of Krishna. You're a perfect instrument. You're qualified to transfer this bliss. You're experiencing the bliss of Krishna, which is unlimited, instead of trying to satisfy yourself through gunas. So we need to cleanse this body, these pipes, the mind, and then we just experience the happiness of Krishna, not ourselves.
May I ask another one?
Yeah.
Question. It's about, you talk about devotees transferring or, the faith at some point. My question is it also coming from how we are going to behave, how we are going to, they say that, I think it's in the nectar of instruction, it depends on the behavior of the learners, how is going to progress in Krishna consciousness. Or can we get faced by our behavior,
It comes to the question from where comes bhakti. In Madhurya Kandambini, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that bhakti comes only from bhakti, bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya, that nothing else, nothing in this world can be considered as a reason of bhakti. But only bhakti comes from bhakti means that we can achieve this faith, we can receive this faith only from those who carries it, the devotees. But does it mean that it depends on my behavior? It's
not just this, but when you are in contact with this person who has this faith. Or if you just your behavior, like, no, you cannot, you need someone who has this faith. You need to be in contact with the devotee.
Yeah. So, and there is two sides. First of all, the qualification of a receiver and qualification of the giver. So if I act in a nasty way, I mean, because the bhakti starts from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives this verse Karika in the second chapter of first canto, verse 22, I believe. In his comments, he says, Mahat Seva Satam Kripa Mahatseva, that it's like, this 9 stages of bhakti, but he expands it to 14 stages. And in the beginning he adds Satam Kripa Mahatseva. Satam Kripa means I need to get in contact with the Satam, with devotees, so they can give me this Kripa, this mercy, because they have this love. And then Mahatseva, I should do my seva as well, I should reciprocate. So this is what we do on the streets. We distribute ladus, we distribute books, we sing Harinam, and all we need from people is just a smile. Or they just say like, wow, these guys are cool. This is Mahatseva already. More they do it, more they accumulate Bhakti Sukriti, Bhakti Unmukha Sukriti. It's called the inclination for Bhakti. They are able to, at some point when they have enough this Bhakti Sukriti, they will come up with the question, but why they are doing this? Maybe I should come and ask them. And they approach devotees like, what are you guys distributing? Like, what is these books? So at this point they are ready, the consciousness is ready to receive the Bhakti Lata Bij, this seed of devotional service. And they receive the book, they get in touch with Prabhupada. So it's important, if we act in a nasty way, we will not be able to receive this kripa, we will not be able to do Mahatseva. But also sometimes when the giver, the Satam Kripa, if he's a very powerful person, like Srila Prabhupada in the beginning, we're dealing with these drug addicts, these hippies who had no idea about spirituality. Because he had so much kripa, so much mercy, he said that he created qualification for them. There was so much nectar that he was able to penetrate through this thick layer of ignorance. Also in Bhagavad Gita 7:28, it is said that by avoiding doing sinful activities and doing pious activities, we will be able to come to devotional service. And Baladev Vidyabhushan explains that that means that by doing pious activities and not doing sinful activities, we come to this sattva gun. We become more attractive for devotees, and we can see that when maybe Rasananda he doesn't care to whom distribute. But me personally, I prefer like people in more sattva guna. It's easier to distribute them. So it's important also. So there is a dependency, but it's not direct dependency. So we should try our best to act in a more sattvic way, so we can be a better pot for this mercy. Because when the pot is with the hole, it doesn't work like this. Or when the pot is like upside down, it doesn't work. Or if it's dirty, or it's already filled with mayavada, if it's filled with ink, it takes a lot of time to refill it. Is that?
Thank you for the class. How do you do when you're put in a situation where there is something external that your mind cannot let go of, you want that thing, you know what I mean? And even if you know that you need to go inside yourself and to go back to your spirituality, it's like when your energy is going towards something, it's super hard, when the situation is in front of you, to put it back inside yourself. So how do you do in those situations? Because the mind is grabbing and grabbing, and it's the more you're trying to go inside, it's the more the mind is still going on that external situation.
It's a difficult period when we have this attachment, and to deal with it, sometimes you can feel like you're schizophrenic. Is that you're battling with yourself within? It's difficult. Well, first of all, we need to understand that we already married, or we already have a husband. I would say married. In Sanskrit, the mind is called okay, I don't want to speculate. I forgot the word. So the mind is like a wife already. Wife. Yeah. We already married even before marriage. So we came up in this material world with this mind. And before dealing with the mind, we need to get used to it. We need to know what is the patterns of the mind, how it acts. We need to get understanding, like what does she like, what she doesn't like, etc. So, and this is only, it is very easy to do with some mentorship. If there is some person who we trust, who we can reveal that, oh, well, I have this attachment, and it's so strong, I cannot get rid of it. By the fact that I'm taking it out of my heart and revealing it to the mentor or to my friend, it's already, Krishna already appreciates it. It's like halfway. You're actually showing it to Krishna. So this is the thing I have. I want to get rid of it. And then the devotee will help how to deal with it. Either if he sees that you're able to just cut it off, it's a little thing. Just let it go. You don't need it, and it will give you shakti next time. Like, yeah, really, why am I attached to it? But if it's too much, then this mentor will tell you, like, just buy it, and don't worry about it, And then you buy it, and then like it's nothing. Like, why? You will get more samskaras, these imprints that actually doesn't bring me to happiness. It's just the mind which is attached to it. And maybe you will have to do it a few times until the intelligence will be strong enough to it doesn't give me happiness. Also, we should also work on our param drishtvani vartate, on the higher taste. Like reading Bhagavatam, chanting rounds attentively in the morning, it gives so much taste, and the mind becomes peaceful. And then and these attachments, they destroy this peacefulness of the mind. So, and then you become more and more attached to japa in the morning, because when mind is satisfied, why not? When it's peaceful. So the answer is, the best thing is to reveal it to someone, better to a senior devotee, to get some guidance, because first step on the spiritual practice is shraddha, the faith. I actually have a little faith that actually spiritual practice, devotional service can give me ultimate happiness. And then comes sadhusanga, because this faith brings me to the association of people who has the same faith. Like those who think that football is the ultimate happiness. They come to the association of football players, In the same way, we're here because we have the same faith. And then sadhusanga, the quality sadhusanga can bring us to the point of kleshagni, destroying of all disturbances. By revealing our mind to devotees, this is how we destroy it. Krishna accepts it, he sees that you don't need it. If we hold it inside, we don't want to reveal it, that means I'm attached to it. Even though I don't like it, I'm still attached to it. This famous example with the tree. Let me go, let me go. I may say that I don't like it, but I'm attached to it. Yeah. Sorry. Which Nitacha?
Thank you for the class. I would like to add something to this. When we were distributing books in Lisbon, we often, more times, we met some people who then came to the temple later, and they had the same realization that one girl was praying in the church that she can give something more to the others, that she can use her life. And after that, she said she met Rupa, Prabhu, and me, and she said this was the answer to my prayers, that I could give it to 21. Also, some other persons said the same thing, that they were praying, and just after that they met us.
Mm-hmm.
So I have attachments, and sometimes it looks that it's impossible to let go, like I'm very attached to everything. But
I get some problems in my body, and then I see, oh my God, this is because of this attachment of overeating. So I have to pray. I cannot do myself, so I pray to Krishna, and Krishna made it, and circumstances which help us to revelation.
Powerful method. When whatever difficulty we have, we just pray to Krishna within. Krishna, I don't want it. Please take it away. An example can be given with the waiter in the restaurant. So it's not bad that the desires come. It's like a waiter which comes to you and opens the plate, like, here it is, it's yours, and you can see this like greenish thing, like this material desires. So the kama, the lust, is actually happens at this moment. Your choice: do I want to have it on my table, or I reject it? So the desires come. It's okay. It's normal. This is why we're here in the material world. But this moment of choice, like, do I accept it or not? So within, we can always say, like, Krishna, please, I don't want it. I don't want it. And she's like, okay. He closes it up, goes away. After some time, he comes again with the smaller portion. You still don't want it? No, I don't want it. Okay. He closes it up, take it away. The third time he comes, it's just a little thing. And then you can think, what is this? Oh, very nice, interesting. Yeah. And then it starts to grow back. And they're like, oh, no, I'm sure, no more again. This is how it happens. And then he like, okay, now you learned the lesson. Destroyed. It destroyed that you don't even remember that you had these memories, this desires. So yeah, this is very powerful. Just to pray, Krishna, please, I don't have it. I don't want to have it. Like desires, when we see that we have enviousness, jealousy, etc., all this can be destroyed through the inner work, through prayers. Yeah. And this is how we build a relationship with Krishna as well.
It all starts from the following.
Haribol!
Everything goes. And we use all our mistakes, all our attachments are the past, because we came to the point where we start to pray. So everything what happened is not bad. It was just our past. This brought us to the point where we give ourselves more into the prayer, into the chanting of Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if I can add something, usually when someone hurt us or someone was not being nice to us, when we think about them, we have a bitter feeling, right? But just imagine, pray to Krishna for their well-being. Just go the opposite way. Oh Krishna, this person is coming back into my head again and again. I think it's in second canto it is said that everything is a disturbance for us, can be offered to Krishna. Everything. It's like this person is disturbing, Krishna, it's my brother, it's your part and parcel, please. Yeah, it's a very powerful process when we pray for each other, not just ourselves. It makes it wonderful.
So I don't get the point you made when you pray for the one who hurt you.
Yeah.
Yeah. By using the opportunity, I would like to ask forgiveness for those who I hurt. Please forgive me.
May I ask a last question?
Please forgive me too.
One of the qualities of Krishna is he's all how to say it in English? He's all forgetful? Forgiving, yeah. He's all forgiving. And if we think of, I cannot forgive someone who made a mistake, but when I do mistake, I want to be forgotten. But think of Krishna, how many times we betrayed him, and he's still forgetting us. So it kind of. sobers me. I'm attached to a little thing, to a little emotion, but like Krishna, he's always waiting for me.
Yes. How sometimes like how to, in a practical way, sometimes free ourselves from. We have a lot of like, for example, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, also in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talk about it like it's not by our own, as you say, by getting a higher attachment. We can detach ourselves from our, let's say first we want to detach ourselves from our suffering. So what practical things we can use for for getting a higher attachment or to try to get attached to Krishna? Which practical things that we can do every day, like okay, I'm suffering right now and I should take shelter, or what can make me feel better if I want to feel better.
Yeah. So I personally very like this. Not that I like, but it actually very important. This Sharanagati. Have you ever heard of it? Sharanagati. The Sharanagati means surrendering, taking shelter of Krishna, and there is 6 stages. This is the like a second. What is it called? The back door. Because to switch from material life, from material consciousness to spiritual consciousness, when we have all these, desires, anarthas, shortcomings, and to switch to the spiritual consciousness when in Vrindavan, when everything is just, everyone's playing their role in ideal way, and myself is all these like impurities. How is it possible? And this shortcut is called Sharanagati, this surrendering. It is explained by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It consists of 6 stages. The first 2 is Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam. I just observe what I do during the day, starting with my senses. Like, I need to reject everything which is unfavorable for Krishna consciousness, for my attachment to Krishna, and accept everything which is favorable. This is how I purify my senses first, by dealing with the objects. So this is the first thing. Then we can go to the second stage. But first we work on this. It gives us it creates this emotion of Sharanagati, the first one, which is determination. Without determination, we cannot practice spiritual life in a proper way. So first thing, just in association of devotees, I'm asking like, what can I improve in my service? What can I do better? And what I should stop to do, And they explain you, like, try to do like this, because they see, We don't see us, but we see others. In the same way they see us, they can share some ideas what can be better in my service. Once I do everything perfectly and I follow what I decided, this emotion of determination comes. Then we go to the second stage, the trust. But trust. But by seeing that Krishna protects me, in whichever situation, I don't need to worry. Krishna protects me. And once I realized it, I will be put into the difficult situations when I need to surrender and I just take shelter of Krishna. I realize it, and then comes the gratitude. So slowly we go through the stages. So practical thing is this: Anukulyasya Sankalpa, Pratikulyasya Varjanam. Just do what is needed for Krishna consciousness and reject what is unfavorable. In the association of devotees, asking what can I do better. Yeah, so it gives us the practical path how to go through it. And also can be discussed the whole picture, because Sharanagati is just a switch from material emotions, material consciousness to spiritual consciousness. It's just something in the middle. But also we can discuss the whole thing, like what is actually the end of the path, where I am now, and that way it will give me understanding of the whole picture, like where I'm going. It will give me enthusiasm. It will also nourish our determination. Oh, sorry, it's already. Yeah, sorry for being late. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Premanande.
Bon, bah, désolé, Malice. Excusez un peu.
You paid for me. No, you didn't?
Did you ever give the Srimad Bhagavatam before? I was teaching myself.
Yeah, I did, yeah.